Hello, everyone. I always enjoy this kind of like very small crowd, and people can actually, you know, uh, listen to everybody, listen to each other, and bear with me. I'll try to make it short, and hopefully we can jump into questions. And first of all, 안녕하세요. I like shoju. I like Korean beef a lot. I just had a very nice dinner last night. So thank you, Korea, and thank you for hosting this, Shoju Dao. Yeah, let me do it like this way. I'm just gonna give like a very quick introduction of CyberConnect, and then we'll probably jump into Q&A. So a little bit about CyberConnect and our team background. We're building a Web3 social network. Started from Silicon Valley, California. We are a team that we have been in the industry for more than 6 years now. We started our first project as a decentralized content economy, and we later on onboarded DLive.tv and so on. After that company got acquired, we took a year break, and then now we're with CyberConnect. We were the first project that actually came up with the concept of a decentralized social graph protocol. So now a little bit detail into what we exactly are building right now. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I think the easiest ways that people can understand CyberConnect would be comparing it to login with Google and login with Facebook. So think of like your Google account and Facebook account. You use those accounts to log into multiple different apps, and the experience is actually pretty good. But it's lacking of mostly two things for Web3 use cases. Number one is like there's no wallet attached to your account, and therefore you can't actually own any assets and make transactions on multiple different chains. So that's the number one thing that we do. Cyber account, it's essentially a smart contract wallet account abstraction compatible with 4337 as well. With auto stack, in one very simple word, like we're trying to, make the whole wallet experience seamless as Facebook and Google, like how people used to use. And next slide. Yeah, so those are the things that we provide with Cyber Account. One signature, multiple transactions. We have this like gas fee delegation feature. We already have onboarded more than 500,000 users onto Cyber accounts, and roughly about like 1.2 million in gas credit. So people can use those gas credits to make transaction across the chains that we supported. Most of them are EVM compatible chains, like Base, Linea, Optimism, BNB chain, Polygon, and so on and so on. So those kind of improvements on user experience, I think, would be the core of actual onboarding Web2 users. So I think there are a lot more details into that. I'll just give you another side of the account, which is I think more on the social side. Yeah. So comparing to Google login and Facebook login, we have first the wallet and all those experiences. And also another side of it is we have this social graph, which we call CyberGraph. So for the first time, you'll be able to actually own your data, including your friends, your followers on social media platforms, the content you created, the monetization channels, the status that you earn. For example, like how can I prove I'm the co-founder of CyberConnect, right? Those kind of valuable information within this identity would be all stored on-chain and be portable and composable to all the other applications. So you don't have to ask Facebook for your social graph again. So comparing to that, those are the wallet plus data network. Those are the key differentiations and value prop that we provide to this account system. The social graph is a self-sovereignty, and then it's a pretty censorship resistant. I think those are the things that most people care. But let's get into the data a little bit. I already mentioned a lot of those. I also want to mention about like some of the ecosystem dApps. And by the way, more stats available. So far there are more than 50 ecosystem dApps leveraging the CyberConnect ecosystem, especially the cyber accounts. And one of them is actually built in-house by our team. It's called Link 3.2. So far, Link 3 has been seen as the Web3 version of Linktree or Luma or LinkedIn moving forward, I think. So far we have onboarded and verified more than 2,700 plus organizations. Most of them actually use their verified link on their social media platforms. For example, like Masari and Mocha Brands, project like DYDX and so on and so on. Moving forward with Link 3, we're planning to add a whole bunch of features to actually build a professional network that's verifiable on chain, so that you don't trick by people who claim they are for example, like on their LinkedIn profile, they could claim that they worked at Binance, but actually they're not, right? That's also one of the issue which I think both CZ and Vitalik mentioned. A verifiable, trustworthy network, it's definitely could be a very strong use case leveraging the CyberConnect ecosystem. So that's like the first thing we're going to try. Other than that, we're consistently looking for more social related application to build with us. So if you are building something, let me know. I'd love to see what we can help. I think that's it. Very quick introduction about our project. If you have any questions about our background or project details or product roadmap, here now is the time. Any questions? Yes, please.
Yeah, so recently a lot of people ask about how are you going to utilize cyber tokens in your ecosystem, and I think this is the best time to talk about your roadmap to the audience here.
Sure. So the cyber token mainly serve two purposes. Like one, it's a governance token for sure, to governance the whole cyber DAO and also the protocol. The second one, it's about the utility, and the major utility right now, it could be served as the gas fee across all those multiple different EVM compatible chains. What we realized that during onboarding, one of the most challenging thing is to somehow educate users like, oh, you're making a Polygon transaction and therefore you need to somehow have Matic, and that's just horrible for users. I don't think we need to actually educate people what chains they are using, why they need multiple tokens to do multiple transactions. And therefore, I think Cyber could serve as the price meter for all those EVM compatible chains. And so far we have, as I mentioned, about like 1.2 million US dollar worth of token already in users' cyber accounts as their gas credit. So I think that would provide a much better user experience, and therefore you could consider cyber one of the major utility for cyber. It's a gas fee token.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So, obviously CyberConnect's like one of the bigger Web3 social platforms, and this is Mass Adoption Day. Where do you guys see social headed? I think we've seen a few primitives like Friendtech, for example, recently. What interests you guys the most, and where do you guys see Web3 social heading?
Okay. I think here's an very interesting part of how I actually view like decentralized social networks evolving in the next like 1 or 2 years. Yeah, by the way, I think if you miss anything, like don't miss this. If you're actually building something, let's make it more like a conversational kind of style. So I think there are a couple, almost like I think like three areas that I think it's very worth it for a trial, leveraging the Web3 tech. Like number one, it's obviously like what Link3 is doing, reputation system, a trustworthy network, And then number two, any platform that is directly related to monetization. If you are building a platform that require heavy monetization, previously existed on Web 2, I think it could be solved pretty elegantly and creatively by Web 3. And that's a second angle you could look after for. The third one, it's about collaboration. So if you're thinking of like a platform that needs, or it would get better with thousands or hundreds of people collaborating together to come up with some, for example, content or curation. An example could be like Wikipedia. You know, millions of people work together to come up with Wikipedia, even though it's not 100% trustworthy yet, but it's still a pretty, efficient system. And Web3, with some certain kind of like tokenomics and trust, built-in trust system, I think could definitely make it better. Another good example would be like something like Reddit. Reddit organize content and curate content and motivate people to create content in a very different way than Twitter, Facebook, and any other platforms. It requires a certain level of mass collaboration. I also see some other opportunities, like for example, if there's like for example, like Weibo. I don't mind like sharing this idea. I think if any one of you want to build it, just let me know. Don't just get the idea and then leave CyberConnect behind. So, for example, like Weibo, it's a Chinese version of Twitter. They have this one magical feature. It's called trending topic. Like Twitter has the very similar feature, which is hashtag, but it's not like properly managed or properly curated by any professional group of people, right? And therefore, for example, nowadays, if you search the token cyber or hashtag cyber, you can see a whole bunch of like unrelated tweets just trying to take the spotlights from the keyword. And therefore, it's not an efficient system. But Weibo, instead, they hire a couple hundred people to curate all those content for you. And therefore, it becomes the most trending, like a billboard for news in China. And that's how they did it, with a couple hundred people collaborating together every single day to make the feed look really related to the topic manually. So comparing that to Reddit, you have like probably a couple dozen people managing, for example, like for cryptocurrency subreddit, it's a 5 million subreddit, right? 5 million subscriber subreddit. It's a huge subreddit with only a couple dozen people working on curation. And therefore, the content itself has to be very, somehow straightforward. And you couldn't do much real, like, for example, like trending topic, and it's a lot of human work to doing, and the collaboration system, the hierarchy they have right now, it's too simplified. But it's a very good trial. It's too simplified though to actually make a complex product or a competitive product against Twitter. So I think from that angle, if you're building something that could actually leverage thousands of people to work in and help on the product in terms of content creation or curation or governance to make the product better, I think that would be a perfect use case for leveraging Web3 tech and tokenomics. So far, I think those are the three areas that I think are most interesting in social. The second one, like monetization, is so important, but I think it's pretty obvious, and that's also the reason why, like when we're doing our last startup, we did DLive.tv. It was a streaming platform for gamers, and we had a PewDiePie exclusive onboarded. We picked that specific content vertical because live streaming requires a lot of transactions. Every single content piece generates hundreds of transactions, and that's when the token could actually benefit, and your tokenomics could be, could actually work, because actually people are spending money on a very high frequent basis, and therefore, yeah, there a lot could be improved. But anyways, those are the three major area that I think will really have huge potentials. And Link3 is targeting the first one, which could be, the backbones of whatever you're building. If we successfully come up with a real trustworthy network, then it would be much easier when you're trying to build an app, and then you just adopt CyberConnect login with CyberConnect, and you can get all those trustworthy data and their network with you. So I think very good question. Thank you for that. But I think I share a little bit too more on that. Any questions? Yes, please.
You talked about a social graph, right? That's also something Vitalik talks about in terms of proof of personhood. I'm not sure whether it's the same, but could you elaborate a little bit more on your concept?
I think it's definitely related. Social graph, it's a very broad concept. It's basically your relationship between each other. And that relationship, it's not only like following or friends. It could be like, I'm giving you an endorsement, right? For example, like the verified org that we have onboarded on Link3 could easily assign me like a SBT, right? A soulbound token saying, okay, I'm the actual co-founder of CyberConnect. And that's also part of the social graph. And also after this meeting, we both can connect it. And maybe if you feel like this sharing is kind of cool, you can write me like an endorsement as an SBT, and that could be part of the social graph as well. So moving forward, when I travel to any other platform, let's say someone build a real improvement on Twitter, which I haven't seen yet. When I log into that platform, I can bring those data with me. So it's not only like I'll be able to bring my followers on that new Twitter-like platform, but also like my status. People know this account is a real account. It's a real Wilson account. Instead of now like people having trouble getting scammed by, there's just so many other CyberConnect accounts with different kind of check. It's just not working. Like you have this like yellow, I have the blue, and some other day we see the exact same check sign. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So about like the persona, I think the cyber graph, like the social graph itself, it's a detailed description of a person's persona, and within all those data, it come up with the what we call the holistic identity. And of course, you could pick and choose. You could have multiple identities you want online, which is pretty normal. And yeah.
In terms of soulbound token, is it like each account would have one soulbound token tied to it, or you have multiple ones?
You can have multiple ones. Yeah. And the soulbound token is what we call Web3 status token. It's a token standard compatible with CyberConnect. It's a non-transferable status representing token. And on Link3, a lot of the features are not yet developed, but yeah, it will be done within the next 3 months and fully compatible with your mobile phone. Cool. So I think after 2 months, hopefully everyone, when you guys go out to events or trying to find business partner, investors, or hiring online within our space, Link3 would be the one to go. Looking forward to receiving a DM. The DM feature is coming up very soon. Yeah, there will be a price somehow attached to it. Hopefully that's gonna work out fine. And yeah, thank you for being here. If you have any question you're too shy to ask here, just find me directly. Okay? Thank you.